Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Ogie. I am the pastor of Cutler Bay Worship Center right here in beautiful Cutler Bay, Florida. And this is chapter 2 of the book of Proverbs. We're reading the book of Proverbs, a proverb a day, 31 chapters in the book. And so it's perfect to read one a day each month. And so we are going to start with chapter 2. I am reading from the New Living Translation of the Bible. You can choose any translation you'd like. The great thing about the internet these days is you can read any translation you like, and you can find one that really kind of suits your reading style, right? There's different translations. There's some that are more kind of contemporary English, or how we would read things today, how we would write things today. And then there's some where more accurate to the actual translation of the text. And so, you can read through different ones and find one that really suits you. I like reading from various translations of the Bible and different translations. I also like reading along with a Strong's Concordance, which gives me the original Greek or Hebrew word that was used when it was originally written. That helps me to see how some of this translation connects, okay? Because obviously the Bible was not written in English. We know that. So, Proverbs chapter 2, verse 1, starting in verse 1. I like this chapter. This is a great chapter. We're going to see here the first 4 verses are going to set something up for you. And then the next 7 verses explain what happens when you do what happens in the first 4. So listen to this. My child, listen to what I say and treasure my commands. Tune your ears to wisdom and concentrate on understanding. Cry out for insight and ask for understanding. Search for them as you would for silver. Seek them like hidden treasures. So this is the instruction, okay? The first 4 verses of this chapter, he's giving us an instruction. Listen to what I say, treasure my commands. Tune your ears to wisdom, concentrate on understanding. Cry out for insight, ask for understanding, search for them as you would for silver, and seek them like hidden treasures. Then watch what happens, okay? In the next 7 verses, it starts this, then you, all right? So if you do what has just been said in the first 4 verses, then you will. Then you will, all right? This is a direct connection between doing something and receiving something, doing something, gaining something, all right? First 4 verses explaining what we need to do. Starting in verse 5, then you will understand what it means to fear the Lord, and you will gain knowledge of God. And listen to this. This is a great verse. Verse 6, for the Lord grants wisdom. Or I like the ESV version of this verse, for the Lord gives wisdom. All right, wisdom comes from the Lord. Remember the story of Solomon, who wrote most of the book of Proverbs. His story is that he becomes king. I think he's something like 20 years old, super young, okay? And now he's king of the entire nation of Israel. And God comes to him in the night in a dream. And he says to him, what would you ask of me? Ask anything of me and I'll give it to you. This new king, he's young. He doesn't know what he's doing. He looks at God and he says, who am I to lead your people? What could I accomplish with your people? Grant me wisdom that I might lead them well. And God says, you know what? I can work with that. I can work with that. So yes, I will give you wisdom. Not only will I make you the most wise man that is ever going to live, period, but I'm also going to give you what you haven't asked for, riches and glory and fame. All right. And so in these 4 verses leading up to this, and then it begins, then you will. Why? Because God is the one who grants or gives wisdom. Verse 6, for the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He grants or gives a treasure of common sense to the honest. Man, I would love to have common sense. Right? And it comes from the Lord. Verse 7, he grants a treasure of common sense. Verse 8, he guards the paths of the just and protects those who are faithful to him. Then you will understand what is right, just, and fair, and you will find the right way to go. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will fill you with joy. Wise choices will watch over you. Understanding will keep you safe. Do you want all those things? I want all those things. How does it happen? It happens if we listen to what the Word of God says and treasure the commands that are in the Word of God. We tune our ears to wisdom and concentrate on understanding. When we cry out, when we're genuinely seeking out for insight and understanding, when we search for it, like we would search for silver or search for it for hidden treasure. That's when we turn around and begin to see these types of things happen in our lives. Verse 12, wisdom will save you from evil people and from those whose words are twisted. These men turn from the right way to walk down dark paths. They take pleasure in doing wrong, and they enjoy the twisted ways of evil. Their actions are crooked, and their ways are wrong. Wisdom will save you from the immoral woman, from the seductive words of the promiscuous woman. She has abandoned her husband and ignores the covenant she made before God. Entering her house leads to death. It is the road to the grave. The man who visits her is doomed. He will never reach the paths of life. Verse 20, so follow the steps of the good and stay on the paths of the righteous. For only the godly will live in the land, and those with integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be removed from the land, and the treacherous will be uprooted. So he starts with, this is what you need to do, and if you do it, you will succeed. These are the things you're going to receive. Then he gives a couple big statements. Okay, wisdom's going to keep you from the dark path. Living a life of wisdom is going to keep you from certain things. Wisdom's going to keep you from ruining your relationships. It's going to keep you from ruining your marriage. Wisdom is good, all right? And then he wraps it all up with, so follow the steps of the good. Live a life that is righteous and godly before God, because for only the godly are going to live in the land. Okay, so he sets it up really well, and he's showing us that if we abide by wisdom, if we seek wisdom, search it out, search understanding, God will grant it, give it to us, and it will benefit our lives greatly. Remember, chapter 1 said that this is the key to having a successful life. Okay, so that is chapter 2 of the book of Proverbs. And videos for chapter 3 through the rest of the chapter are going to be coming up as well. And so you can watch all the way through all of the chapters every day if you'd like, both on Facebook and on YouTube. And we'll